What is up, PokeMoshPit? This is ShinigamiNTW again. You might have seen my other video I posted on here, but that was kind of bad. So this was against Stat, who's a bro. I talked to him on Skype and all that stuff, so yeah. I don't really play Gen 4, but because it was him, I was okay with it. So as you see, I led with my lead Moltres. I kind of played some mind tricks with him and made him switch up, thinking that I had HP Grasp, which I didn't, because it's a sub-roosting set, which is weird for a lead. I think I brought it by accident. And we both set up rocks, and I Earthquake his guy, expecting him to just roar me out, which he does. And out comes my Moltres again, which is lame. So, even though I've got Roost, I don't really see myself being able to use it that well. And I've got a Spinner on my team, but his team is extremely aggressive, and I didn't really have an opening. So I have to switch out into my Drapion, and I scare him out probably because I'm a defensive wall. But he goes into his Heatran, and I just roar the Heatran back into Gyarados anyway. So we're back where we started. And after this, I didn't really see the taunt coming because he switched out the first time, and I thought it might have just been like all offensive moves in DD. But after that, I had to switch out into my Moltres because it's pretty much useless at this point. There's rocks up, and I can't really get in a safe spin, so I'm just gonna let it die. After that, I get a safe switch back into my Drapion, who can take it on one-on-one if it doesn't have Earthquake, and if it does have Earthquake, I have got something to deal with it after that. In retrospect, I probably should just send in Flygon, but I forgot it had Stone Edge. No lie. So I go for another crunch after getting the defense drop the first time, and I get a defense drop on the Spiritomb, but he burns me. I'm okay with that because I've got rest on this thing, because it's a rest talking Raw Shuffler. He goes for a Pain Split, but it doesn't really matter that much to me because, yeah. And after he goes into Edward, his Tyranitar, which set up the Sandstorm, which hindered me a lot. Actually, maybe not a lot, I'm not too sure. I go for the Rest Talk, and I think I get another Rest. I kind of missed it, but it wasn't too pleasant. So he goes for a Substitute. Maybe he expected me to switch, like fearing the EQ, maybe. And he goes for a Dark Pulse, maybe expecting me to switch for the EQ again. Either that or that's his own attacking move. So I roar him back out into the Gyarados, who seems to have a thing for my Drapion, and I get the Intimidate drop again. And I'm thinking at this point, okay, it's low enough health that 2 crunches should be able to take it out with like the assistance of Sandstorm. And I expected him to taunt me, so I didn't go for the rest. And the second time I didn't go for the rest again because I was afraid of the DD. Like, I was afraid of him to go for the DD and then the taunt. But he just wants to like straight up kill my guy, and that's what he does. So I send him my Flygon, which he hasn't seen yet, and go for the U-turn to finish the thing off and go back into my Rhyperior. But unfortunately, now he knows I have a Flygon, and now he knows that it's probably scarfed. So he goes back into his Spiritomb. I switch into my Tentacruel because he does not afraid of Will-O-Wisps. And I want to set up the Toxic Spikes just for the Spiritomb and the sub Tita. But unfortunately, at this point I see he's got Pursuit, so my plan was kind of ruined. The whole idea was to hopefully... Actually, I had a setup in my head. I was hopefully going to keep the Spiritomb off in for 1 turn, which he actually did. Then I was hoping that he'd switch into Tita, which he didn't. And I would set up 2 layers of spikes and Rapid Spin. But no. On the second turn, because he had the Pursuit, I just went for the knockoff because I didn't really see my plan coming through. And he sends in a Zapdos, which is fortunately slower than me, so I set up both sets of spikes and I get off the knockoff, so it's great. So now the Spiritomb comes in, takes a Mega Horn, and is heavily poisoned, or however you call it. So I didn't want him to know that I didn't have Stone Edge. I mean, it was really important to me in my head. I'm not sure if it was that important in reality, but and I was afraid of like missing the Mega Horn, even though I had Heal Bell on my team. Okay, that didn't make any sense at all. But so I sent in my Dragonite because it's a really gimmicky set. Right? It has Rest, Sleep Talk, Heal Bell, and Dragon Claw with a Life Orb. I wouldn't normally even use this set, but since it's against that, I just use gimmicks like that freaking Raw Shuffling Drapion. And I fortunately do get off the first turn Dragon Claw, but unfortunately the second turn I get a Rest, which is just dandy. So at this point, I'm assuming that the only attacking move it has is Dark Pulse. So seeing how much it didn't do, I go for the Rest again, and really it's really killing me slowly. So I figure, okay, if I can Rest Talk a Dragon Claw, this will be over. But I get a Rest again, and at this point, I'm just hoping for a Dragon Claw, because if I wake up, no, if I get a Heal Bell and wake up, then that would be a wasted turn. If I get arrested, obviously be a wasted turn. So the T-Tar goes down, and I'm okay with that. So in comes the Heatran, and this confirms that it's Scarf because it outspeeds my Dragonite, and I think my Dragonite is max speed. Not too sure. So I send back in my Flygon, which is Scarfed, and go for the Stone Edge because I know that Stone Edge will 2-hit KO the Heatran and 1-hit KO the Zapdos, and because he has shown that he has Hidden Power Grass and not Ice. So afterwards I go for the Stone Edge again because whatever move he chooses I can just switch in Rhyperior or Flygon, and unfortunately the second time I miss a Stone Edge, so I switch into Rhyperior to take the HP Grass and pretty much just sacrifice it off, but it survives the HP Grass, I guess because of the Solid Rock and Sandstorm and all that nonsense. But yeah, so after that I'm just going to send in my Flygon and hit it with the more accurate Earthquake, and that's GG. So that was a great game stat. Check out his channel, just like he hasn't got that many videos up, but check him out. Also check my channel out, and that's all I really have to say.